Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Anything Goes. And my loves, I'm going rogue. I'm going rogue. It is a solo episode. I may release it as like a bonus episode. I may release it by itself. But honestly, I have had a year today. It has been a year in a day. And I wanted to I was like, what a perfect energy to sit down in and actually just give some raw, in real time, behind the scenes chats about what it really looks like to run multiple businesses at the same time as a woman, female founder, and how I navigate that. I don't know where it's going to go. I have no notes. There may be no lessons to this, but I really just kind of wanted to take you on the journey of what the last couple of years have looked like and really why I have done what I've done, because on paper, it could look a little bit crazy, which I fully understand. I might look stretched thin, which I definitely am. But honestly, I just could not have it any other way. Like, it's just who I am and what I do. And I also actually really want to speak into like just how much we as founders have to fit in sometimes and just make it work. Like, hang on and just figure it the fuck out, because I brought one other outfit so I could do some batching for podcasting, and I put the dress on. I love the dress. It would be an amazing party dress. But then when you sit down in it, so if you're watching on the YouTube or Spotify, there's like little gaps in my buttons. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I've got 20 minutes to do this episode and we're rolling with it. So what's so crazy is the Anna Rose that you see me as today, I even feel like I have lived this life now for a decade, but I really haven't. Realistically, my business life truly took off in the last 3 years, pretty much honestly since I've met Ryan. And I will do a whole other episode on just basically the success that I believe you can have when you are sincerely loved and you don't have to stress anymore and your nervous system can actually just regulate and get to work on life. But in the last 3 years, so let's talk about it. How many businesses do I actually have? What are companies, etc.? I have Self-Love School, which is an incredible online course that teaches women how to know themselves, love themselves, trust themselves, and back themselves in eating, thinking, moving, speaking, earning, self-caring, healing, fucking like they love themselves, right? That is Self-Love School. It is an enormous coaching offering that I offer that is completely online. Then I have The Awakened Woman, which is an NFT. Now, I don't have to do anything for that specific company per se. It is one that I launched, I backed, I love, but there's no, in saying that, I was about to say there's no like day-to-day running of that. I have an active Discord for that where I host the community of TAW holders. That is just a whole other story. I will tell that story another day of just like the fucking chaos that has gone down with that recently. All under control, of course, but just like the joys of being a business owner. So they're the two that I really launched, right? I had Self-Love School 2020. I launched The Awakened Woman 2022, so 8822. Then I launched 2023 September, so 9923, 9th of the 9th, 23. I launched TAW Collective, which is my activewear brand. So The Awakened Woman is an NFT. TAW Collective is the activewear brand. Then I launched June last year, basically. I launched the Dream House Studio, but we took the keys like March the 1st. It was like February 29th. It was a leap year. So we just say March 1st because it's easier. 2025. So since 2023, so 2 years, because we're only March at sitting of recording this, I have launched two of the biggest companies that I own and that demand by themselves so fucking much of me. They are both full-time jobs, and it's wild. It is absolutely chaotic. Self-Love School is so manageable, and it's just like the air that I breathe now, and that's more evergreen, which is amazing. And in the day-to-day, it can be chaotic. Now, I really actually want to talk about why I chose to launch realistically TAW Collective, The Awakened Woman, TAW Collective, and then the Dream House. they are all very, very, very symbiotic of each other. And I really believe the success, it's not like the success of one feeds the success of the other. The dream house definitely feeds the success of the others at the moment. But when people go, oh my God, I could never, or you must be spread so thin, or your attention must be diverted everywhere, it fucking is. And honestly, unless you are an A-type personality, you have many ADHD tendencies, and you don't wish to medicate, I highly recommend it. Like, could not recommend it enough. It takes your psychotic brain that just pings 24 hours a day like mine and puts it into channeled work that distracts and just allows you to do your crazy thing. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But basically what happened was I had for years before that. So let's quickly just recap. Since 2020, so in the last 5 years, because we're at the very beginning of 2026, so we're not in 2026 yet. For the last 5 years, I have launched and scaled 4, 6 to multiple 6-figure, 7 or multiple 7-figure businesses, which is fucking insane. And why I wanted to sit today and actually talk about that is fucking insane. And I was on my run this morning and I was like thinking about it, and I just thought, no wonder I have felt stressed. Like, no wonder I have beat myself up. No wonder I am so hard on myself all of the time, which I'm grateful for. I'm not negative about that. I put pressure on myself in a really healthy, masculine way, essentially. But I took this minute. I got to the studio and I was sitting in my beautiful dream house studio where I'm podcasting right now. Not to mention I run a top charting podcast, which I'm so grateful for. But I was like, yeah, you know what, sis? Like, take a minute. Like, actually take a minute to sit today. And we've literally have clients coming in the studio in 20 minutes. So I had a 20 to 30 minute window to sit and record this. This is how crazy life is. But I was like, I really want to, in the moment of feeling this feeling, sit down and actually talk about, wow, I have actually launched 4 very big, very successful, multiple, like I said, 6 or multiple 7-figure businesses in the last 4 years. Now, if I had have done 1, I would have been super fucking proud. If I had have done 2, I would have been like, what? No way. You're a baddie. Like, well done. If I was talking to someone else, like, fuck, you're incredible. If I had heard a woman did 3, I'd be like, that's impossible. Like, how? Teach me your secrets. If I learned she had done 4 and across different industries, you have to understand this, across different industries, I'd have been like, nah, you're a liar. Like, you couldn't have possibly done that. Like, show me your life. Show me exactly how you've done it. So I suppose what I realized today is I'm like, I have this incredible position that I want to share more of. Like, how did I actually fucking do that? I honestly think just a lot of stress, a lot of investment, a lot of fuck around and find out energy. But I want to sit down so much more and really talk about like the business story, my day-to-day, what that looks like, how I fail forward with that consistently. But today I wanted to say, like, in all of the businesses, so Self-Love School really sits by itself. I look at that as like my soul's work. It's just something that will always be available. It changes women's lives, and it changes women's lives because it's what changed my life. I am who I am today because of the work that is contained in that school. I literally just put my life's journey and all of the things that I had done and still do as a woman and put it in that course. So Self-Love School sits by itself. What had occurred though for me was, and I'm so grateful for this, something that I haven't touched on is that I also did, which we all know, network marketing for 8 solid full-time years before any of this. So the 8 years prior to the last 4 years of me launching, scaling multiple 6 and multiple 7-figure businesses, for 8 years full-time, nothing else took away from my time or my energy, I built in network marketing. Now, that was a multiple 7-figure income for me. That wasn't sales, that was cash in bank. And that is 1 trillion%. People always go like, so none of my business has a bank loan. None of my businesses have debt. None of my businesses have investors. I have bankrolled every single business dream house is 50-50 with Ryan. And I'm so grateful for that. I never would have gone this big. I definitely would have done this by myself. But him being like, I want in, I was like, fuck yeah. Okay, well, we can go bigger. But other than the dream house, all of my other businesses are my money, my time, my energy, my effort. So network marketing though. So people go, how did you actually do that? Network marketing. I spent 8 years building a very incredible income. I was very cash positive, very cash rich, essentially. I made smart investment decisions back then. I lost a lot of that via divorce and then theft from a violent ex. But I'm at a rose, I rebuild. So I've continued to do that. So basically what happened though in network marketing, I just cannot emphasize enough, literally, it taught me everything that I know about business. It's made me the businesswoman I am today because you get so many no's, you get so criticized, you get knocked back, you get misunderstood, you get attacked. There's just so much that I learned. You get so misunderstood in network marketing, and I did it from the age of 25 to my divorce basically, which was 33. How old was I when I got divorced? 33. Yes. That I just became impervious. I was like an impervious businesswoman that you couldn't stop. It didn't matter. So a huge thing though, so then the next self-love school was the next thing, but I've spoken into that. But where the awakened woman came from, where this whole NFT idea came from, was literally having built in network marketing for 8 years and seeing women love me, trust me, listen to me and invest in me and helping them along the way. I've never helped more people, I fundamentally believe, than in the 8 years I built in Isogenics, because I literally could help change women's lives from their health perspective. I created $100 earners, I created $1,000 earners, I created multiple $1,000 earners, I created six-figure earners, and I created even a millionaire. A beautiful woman in my team also had become a millionaire. So personally enrolled. So I help, when I look down the barrel of the camera and I say I help women get paid and I help women get healthy, I did, right? Receipts are all there. But what happened from that is I just got this hunger to give back. Like I was like, fuck, I was loved, trusted, bought from, invested in for 8 years. And then what happened is I launched Self-Love School, and that was just selling out. Every single launch. I capped the first launch to 100 people, which was, I don't regret it, but I'm always like, it was a silly thing to do. I just thought that won't sell out, so I'll cap it. Sold out in 8 hours. Phenomenal. Amazing. But then I was like, oh my God, like again, here are these queens that are just believing in me, and I am nothing without my community. And this is what women in business have to understand. This is what any businesses have to understand. We are nothing without our customers. We are nothing without our clients. You are nothing without your community. And literally having built in network marketing for 8 years, being trusted, bought from, invested in, listened to, people would rock up to my coaching that I did every single week. I just thought, fuck, I really want to give back. When I saw NFTs launch, it wasn't the NFT I gave a fuck about. It's a JPEG. I was on the record everywhere. You can go find the receipts saying back when they were at their peak hype in 2021, I launched in the bear market. So when the crash had come, that's when I launched 2022, because I didn't want the hype. I didn't need the NFT bros coming and buying up my NFTs because the utility is so strong. I literally just needed to create an asset that people could buy, that I could then have an easier way to give back to them. And that was the NFT. I'd invested in the blockchain since 2017. I loved the blockchain. And so I knew that was the way that I was going to do it. And it was as simple as that. I literally was like, holy shit, I look at NFTs like a key if they're good ones. I used to say on the record that 98% of them are going to fail. I was right. Hate to say it. Mine is still one of, if not the most strongest project in Australia. Like, my haters will correct me if I'm wrong, and this is what I love about them. They'll bring the receipts. I'm pretty sure they can't on that. So, but that's why I created it. I literally was sitting there and I was like, I've got this unfucking believable unicorn community who loves me, who trusts me, who has backed me, who buys from me no matter what I do. And I'm like, I want to give back to them. What's the point in me continuing to launch these businesses? Because I am an entrepreneur in my heart of hearts. Like, I will launch businesses until I die. I will be 100 cut-in deals. No, like not a chance in hell that that's not going to happen. And so I thought, what's something that I can create for my community to give back along the way? And it was the Awakened Woman. Now, how I then was going to give back was I had to create another company to get profitable, to give those profits back, right? If I created the NFT, they bought the NFT, and then I was like, I'll give you the profits back. That just breaks the space-time continuum. It was never going to work like that. I needed to create a legacy company that could be profitable, that I would be passionate about, that could give back the profits to the Awakened Woman. So cue TAW Collective. And that's why TAW Collective was born. So I could literally get it profitable, have a legacy company that I was proud of, that I loved, that could change women's lives, because moving like I love myself did not just change my life, it saved my life. So of course it was always going to be something connected to, self-love in some way, and movement was the thing that saved my life. So I created that brand to get profitable, to give the profits, 50% of TAW Collective profits, when it's profitable, will go back to the TAW holders. And so that's where TAW Collective came from. The behemoth, the stress, the bane of my life, that's where that came from. And I have loved it. It has taught me more about business in the 2 years that I have started it, scaled it, failed with it, learned from it, succeeded with it, and everything in between. It's taught me more about business than anything. I've got a business degree. Anything has ever taught me than just fucking up and failing forward in TAW Collective. And then the dream house came to be because beautiful, kingly, heroic, phenomenal Ryan came along and just watched me busting my ass. I would podcast at home. I was doing photo shoots like literally once a month minimum, like hiring out different studios. I would then get to those studios and be frustrated that they were dirty, that they didn't look anything like the pictures, that that they double booked the podcast room when I'm trying to shoot, and then they were telling me to be quiet. I was like, I've just fucking spent $1,500. Like, don't tell me to be quiet, right? So Ryan was watching all of this because remember, TAW Collective started 9th of the 9th, 2023. I met Ryan 14th of the 4th, 2023. So all of like the sampling, all of me, like my late nights, my stresses, like, is this going to work? Figuring out the Shopify, figuring out the brand colors. Ryan has literally been there from day one. So the dream house came to be because he was watching me hire and book and stress and overstretch myself in other ways, desperately like trying to make these businesses work. Essentially, they were definitely working with lots of lessons and lots of failures, which I want to share more of along the way. But he was the one that came to me and was like, why don't we start a space? Because I really want to be in business. I see what you do. I love it. I fully understand this concept of like not working for the man anymore and like trading my time for money. And he said, baby, I would go in with you. And also, TAW Collective was operating out of a 3PL and they're amazing. I love them, highly recommend them. And also I just was like, I'm paying them this amount of money, but I'm not getting content. I could go in and film, but you get in the way. You can't do it every day. So I was like, I literally can't tell my brand story. I can't film cute little TikToks of me picking and packing orders. And there was just so much wrong that I was already failing in, essentially. And so Ryan was like, hey, let's look at warehouses that can bring all of your brands and all of your businesses under the one roof, including your podcasting. Because at the time I'd set up a little studio at home. Like, guys, start where you are, do what you can, use what you have, right? My whole business career up until literally 8 months ago when we launched the Dream House Studio was just done at home, where I could, how I could, clinging on for dear life, essentially. I filmed yes, I'd book studios and stuff, but ultimately now we have the best one. But I just want you to see that. So now I have the Dream House Studio, and let me tell you, like today we got in, I've just met the most incredible guests that have been podcasting all day, so it expands my network. They've agreed to come on this podcast. I am packing orders in a couple of hours. I have podcast myself. I've just done 2 hours of podcasting. I'm going to finish this podcast. There's going to be 4 hours of podcasting after me with clients. I'm just going to go up into my beautiful office in the studio and I'm going to work on all my other businesses for the rest of the day. So when people probably look at my life and go, how the fuck does she do it? Honestly, I don't know. And I want to share more of that even still. I genuinely, I don't, from the moment my eyes open till the moment my eyes close, like I'm active, like I'm doing something. I'm putting out a fire, or I'm planning a design, or I'm dealing with clients literally in person at the studio, or I'm recording a podcast. Like, yes. But to me, I love it. I'm like, I could not think of anything worse than like, personally, I love that for you if you love it, but like sitting at home watching a series. I just think that's brain rot. So if you're looking at me and you're like, how the fuck does she do this? Like, why the fuck does she do this? Honestly, it all stemmed from blame the awakened woman in a really powerful, like blame it, but thank it. Because I'd built my millions in Isogenics, my network marketing. Then I launched Self-Love School and I was absolutely crushing it in that. That's done 7 figures as well. Amazing, with 0 overheads. I have Lane, which is like a staff cost, which is nothing in essence, right? I don't have like this. The Dream House Studio has motherfucking overheads. If you want to talk about overheads, let's talk about this business. Self-Love School has generated 7 figures with 0 to no overheads. For example, smart business model. So I was getting wealthier. I was getting more purpose-filled. I was getting successful. But to me, I was like, I'm literally doing all of this because of my community, because they're buying from me, because they trust me, because they're following me, because they believe in me. And I'm like, fuck, I want to give back to them. Like, I want to create a business model that actually gives back to them. Like, thank you. Like, thank you so much for believing in me and buying from me and loving me and being a part of this fucking unicorn community. And so I started the Awakened Woman. And then the Awakened Woman on the 8th of the 8th, 8822, literally launched and catapulted. So in the last 3 years, I've launched 3, 6, and 7-figure businesses, right? From the Awakened Woman NFT. Then I got to launch TAW Collective to feed the profits back to the Awakened Woman holders, and also make an impact and some noise and disrupt the activewear business as well, right? And then I launched the Dream House Studio to actually bring all of my crazy under one roof so I could stop wasting time, wasting energy, wasting money, giving my money everywhere else to other photo shoot studios, to other podcasting from home, which was just not ideal. I just felt like I had absolutely no separation in my life. And that's why we started the Dream House Studio, to basically bring all of my crazy under one roof. And then Ryan just had the genius idea. He was like, let's make it beautiful. Let's make it bigger. Let's think bigger. And then we can hire it out so other people can enjoy it and use it when you're not. Like today, I've podcasted for 2 hours. There's 6 hours of other bookings. Phenomenal. Like, I love that. So that's part of the journey. That's part of the story. If you look at my life and you're like, how the fuck does she do it? But honestly, I think more so like, why? Why does she keep launching these businesses? Why? Like, is she just crazy and is she just never going to stop? I mean, firstly, no, I'm probably never going to stop. I'll be doing this when I'm 101. But I want you to understand, and now we've got this anchor point. We can build from here, friends. We can build from here. But I wanted to explain kind of just the hero's journey from the business perspective, as in the businesses of a hero, right? The hero journey of why I started, the order that I started them in, how they genuinely are so deeply connected. And I always say as well, like even Self-Love School, even though it's not connected to TAW, the Awakened Woman, and Dream House, like they are sisters symbiotically, they're triplets. I can only do those things. I could only launch 3 very large, very stressful, very incredible companies in 3 years because of Self-Love School, right? Because I am a woman that knows herself, that fucking trusts herself, that backs herself, and that loves herself. So none of the rest would even exist without Self-Love School. And then to back that up, none of that would exist without my health, which was isogenics, which I focused on so flat out and so full time for 8 years with no distractions, right? So that's the story, my loves. And I think from here now you kind of understand that they all really cohesively, symbiotically, beautifully feed off of one another, and they are all absolutely a part of who I am, and they are all in essence a part of each other. One doesn't really exist. Dreamhouse wouldn't exist without the other two. So without Anything Goes, without TAW Collective, and really without Self-Love School, because now I get to film everything here as well. Like the dream house wouldn't exist, but the dream house is like becoming so many creatives' home and favorite places to come. And it's just my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So I love my business architecture. I love that ultimately people go, what do you do? I just say now, like, yes, I'm a female founder. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. But ultimately I look at myself as a business architect. Like I have 4 very big businesses, 4 companies, 3 very active, and now I'm just focused on that. I was doing retreats. I was doing so much more. And don't forget, I've got like Minor Circle. I have a monthly mastermind. I'm just about to launch another business in time, which is going to be a business school, because of everything I just mentioned, that I dominate across 4 industries with 4 very different companies, which I just absolutely adore. And I want to put more of my brain into a course and sell that like a self-love school, like business for self-love school, finances for like self-love school. So there's more coming. It's all very exciting, but it literally all just feeds off the other. One does not exist without the other. One cannot coexist without the other. TAW Collective wouldn't be here without the Awakened Woman. The Awakened Woman would not be here without TAW Collective. The Dream House wouldn't be here without the rest of them. Self-Love School is who I am and why the rest exists. So when you look at me and you go, how does she do that? But more importantly, like, why the fuck would she do that? That's why. That genuinely back in the day when I was understanding who I am and that I love to live a full life, and that business is literally why I was put on this earth, I also wanted to create a business within the infrastructure, within the hive, right, of my business architecture, where there was just something that could specifically and directly give back to community, because I was recognizing very early on in business that I don't exist or matter without you. And so that is why I sit here today in this studio with my activewear brand upstairs, with the NFT still, going super, super strong, with Self-Love School about to do its like 10th launch, with, my health impeccable order, because I still take Isagenix products 13 years later every single day. It all matters. It all feeds into the other. And I really just want to tell more of the stories now of each of those brands, and just the fuck ups and the failures and my biggest lessons and my biggest successes and what I would do differently, because there's so much that I would do differently if I started again in all of them. But I feel like I needed to just kind of put like the beginning on the mic, which I've done. And I'm going to wrap it up because I can literally hear the next guest. And that's the beautiful benefit and joy of owning a studio and just creating the space for other creatives. So I will leave you there. I hope you got something out of this episode. I didn't know where it was going to go, but until next time, my loves, stay wild.